everyone, and welcome back to Stir the Coco. We have a great show for you today. We are going to be talking with an activewear brand, but it has a twist to it, and it's a Coco twist. So here we go. It's going to be a great interview. I would like to welcome our guests from Moorlow. We have Brooks, Holly, and Sandra. Welcome to Stir the Coco.
Hi. And you know what? Sometimes we are a little loco, so this is going to be great.
So the Coco's loco. We all have those moments.
Yeah.
Well, this is great. Well, thank you so much. And first of all, you all look fantabulous, I have to say. Look at the fit. Woo! It's beautiful. All right. Well, we're going to get started. I'm going to start with Holly. Holly, so first of all, the brand is, it's an activewear brand, but it's got a little bit of other things attached to it. There's fashion, racket sports, and brain health. Tell us how all this combines together.
Yeah, I know. It might seem a little Coco Loco, but it actually really totally makes sense. And really, it all started in my backyard, right? 3 friends having a glass of wine together. And we were all talking about wanting to do something, really wanting to build something together. And each one of us came back to an observation on our own. And for me at the time, I was a news anchor, and I felt like every other story in the news was about pickleball, right? Whether people loved it because it was the fastest growing sport, or they hated it because there were courts going up in their neighborhood and it was making too much noise. It didn't matter. Pickleball was in the headlines. At the same time, Brooks, who has worked in the brain health advocacy space for quite some time, was really noticing that brain health was becoming a part of the national conversation. And not only were people focusing on their brain health, there was this focus on the fact that movement could be a part of preventive health, right? That you actually, if you exercise, you can stave off something like Alzheimer's. And then we had Sandra over here who's looking around going, why isn't anybody cute? Like everybody's just, they're just repurposing their tennis wear. There's no fashion out here. And so what we realized is that all 3 of us were looking at the same trend, but we were looking at it through a different lens. And then we're like, okay, pickleball, movement, cute, brain health. Is it really a pickleball story? Is it a pickleball brand we want to create? Or really, maybe the story is not pickleball. It's just proof that people are really craving ways to move. They're craving ways to be connected. And so that's when we realized that it wasn't just a pickleball brand. Moorlow was going to be a brand that celebrates the power of play. And so, what happened was fashion was going to be our vehicle. Sport and movement, or I should say rather, fashion was going to be the invitation. That's a better way to look at it. Fashion was the invitation, invite people in. Sport and movement, the vehicle that drives it. And then brain health is the whole reason why we're doing it. It's the purpose behind it all. So today, whether you're playing pickleball, which is awesome, or you can be playing tennis or golf or just going on a walk with friends, our mission is still the same. We're making fashion fun and health the point. And we really sit at the intersection of sport and science and fashion.
I love how all that comes together. And actually, being a tennis player myself, I love all those pieces together. And thanks for adding the fashion piece, because yes, we needed something.
You got to start with looking cute.
Of course. Hello. So Brooks, tell us how you came up with a brand name, because it is a challenge sometimes to come up with a name, and also your tagline. So tell us all about that process.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, like most founders, we had a long list of names that we really loved, and we researched them. We'd get excited, and then we would discover that they were already trademarked. And so it really did feel like countless dead ends. And we finally decided, at the recommendation of our trademark attorney, to look a little closer to home and to come up with something unique ourselves. And so we did everything. Imagine us sitting on the floor with whiteboards. We had our kids' names, our childhood street names, anything you could imagine, to try to come up with a name that would feel really good to us and be symbolic of our brand and our mission. And we actually decided to do a mashup of our maiden names. So
Oh.
it's Holly Morris is the MO, Sandra Pryor, OR, and Brooks Barlow, LOW. And so we
Genius.
loved where we landed because we love the curve and the softness of the M and then the inverted W. We know women respond really well to curved edges. We also really love the fact that it's a mashup of the three of us because we always call ourselves the sisterhood of three, and we feel like it represents our partnership. And it's been a really exciting journey to get to a trademark name.
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
And that connection, right? That's bonding with all of you. And also tell us about the tagline. What is there anything that came about with the Play Happy?
Well, we love your Play Happy hoodie that you're wearing. So you look amazing in it. And actually, a lot of people think Play Happy is our tagline, but we really like to think of it as our philosophy and our brand ethos. You know, our tagline is make fashion fun and health the point, as Holly said.
Okay.
And Play Happy is really also an invitation for people to connect with one another, to get moving, to go play pickleball, to go for a walk with friends. You know, I think as adults, sometimes we forget to give ourselves permission to choose joy.
Absolutely.
And to play. You know, we're all very busy in our lives, our careers, our kids, maybe caring for aging parents. And we need to give ourselves permission to play. And here's the good news. It's good for you. You know, the science is telling us over and over again that movement, connection, doing things with people you love is actually good for your brain and your overall health and wellness. And so we fold Play Happy into everything we do, not only our branding, but our messaging. And we try to be really intentional about it. And it's resonating, you know, and we hope when people see it, they think, wow, I am going to take a break and go for a walk or call a friend and grab a coffee. So it's been a really exciting evolution for us.
I love that. And it is time for people to take a breath and do something for themselves. Sandra, you're a fashion industry veteran?
Yes. I have been in the fashion industry for almost 20 years.
Okay. So you are bringing a certain persona, right, to Moorlow. Tell us what are you trying to portray? What is the fashion that Moorlow is trying to bring?
I feel like the fashion that we're trying to portray, you know, is this upscale athleisure brand, but that has a bigger meaning. You know, we wanted to create beautiful athleisure pieces that were soft and they're dry wicking and 4-way stretch and all the things that you want in a performance fabric, but they're also a really good fit. There's pockets, you know, they are, yes, we have pockets in our skirts. We have pockets in our shorts, you know, they're also meant to move with you throughout your entire day. So, you know, the Moorlow customer, you know, the woman who's wearing Moorlow has a busy life. You know, she cares about her health. So she's going for a walk in the morning. She's going to take her kids to carpool. She's then going to, you know, maybe go hit some balls or go for a walk with one of her friends. And then she's got to go to the grocery store. She probably has some work to do. And then she has pickup. So we built this brand and we designed every piece to be able to take our Moorlow, you know, the Moorlow woman throughout her entire day, but also looking cute and feeling great and being comfortable in what she's wearing. And it doesn't hurt that she'll get a compliment while she's in the grocery store saying, oh my gosh, so cute.
Absolutely.
So we've definitely built this line to take the Moorlow woman throughout her entire day to look good, feel good, but then also know that she's supporting a bigger mission. She's supporting her brain health, even by just doing the things in her day-to-day life. That's supporting her brain health. She's only adding on to it by wearing Moorlow.
Wonderful. And you know, your product donates every item that someone buys. Holly, $2 are donated to charities. Tell us, first of all, how did you come up with $2 an item? I love that part of it, and the journey why you chose charities related to brain health.
Yeah, so this obviously goes back to our origin story, and pickleball that inspired our bigger mission, because in pickleball you have to win by two. So we
Oh,
decided that it would be fun to say with every purchase we give $2 back to our brain health charity partners. And then we had to go about, choosing our brain health charity partners. We're very fortunate that, as I mentioned earlier, Brooks has been in the brain health space for quite some time and is very well respected in that space. And so she came up with two of her connections. One is Hilarity for Charity, which is Seth and Lauren Miller Rogan's foundation, where they kind of bring levity to a very difficult conversation, but they also chronicled Lauren's mother, who in her journey with
yes.
Alzheimer's. And so then the other one is Bright Focus Foundation, which is a charity that really focuses on those early ideas that lead to major discoveries that we're seeing in the news every day. And they also really focus on women scientists. So we like that.
Oh,
But both of those charities were obviously super excited when we presented the opportunity to be able to be a part of what they're doing. And I did, just before we get too far away from it, if it looks like we're
yes.
all wearing this squiggly pattern and you're like, why?
Yes,
It was
yes.
really important to us with our debut collection. We had this pattern made just for us, and it's called the rally print. And you get out there and rally, you rally in life, but then you're rallying for your brain and you're really winning if you're doing all of that. But it emulates the bounce of the ball and that of a brainwave as well. And it was important to us because while we are giving back to charity, there are a lot of brands that just give back to charity. But we
Right.
wanted our give back to actually be in our product as well. And we like to say our purpose is literally woven into every stitch. And so this is the print that you will get the compliments on that Sandra talked about. I mean, people will stop you for this print, because the other thing about choosing joy is about being bright and happy and having this recognizable collection on and off the court, right? So that when people see it, they go, oh my gosh, that's got to be Moorlow right there that they're wearing. And so we spent, it took us 2 years to build the company before we launched with product. And I think one of the best compliments that we ever got from someone is that she was like, you know what? Everything you guys do, you do with intention. And so every single detail from every different angle we've thought about, we've debated, we've talked it over, we've changed until we came out with the line and the purpose and the cause and the mission that we wanted from every angle. And I think that that's why, while we've only been around a little over a year with product, that it's resonated so quickly. And we've been very fortunate to have the seat at some very important tables because of all the thought that went into it ahead of time.
And I like what you're saying, because it's woven into the fabric. I mean, everything, all your ideas, especially working with 3 people, but it ends up coming to always to the same point, right?
Right.
The same mission, same purpose. And I love that mindset. Brooks, well, having been involved in, the charity world and the brain awareness community, can you tell us a little bit more about the organizations that are involved with your company?
Sure. Well, like Holly said, it's Hilarity for Charity, and they bring levity and light to Alzheimer's. And in addition, they provide a lot of brain health education, and then they provide respite grants to family caregivers who are caring for loved ones with Alzheimer's disease. So we think, that combination of advocacy, service, and education is critical. And as Holly mentioned, Bright Focus Foundation funds those early stage ideas. And we know that some of the scientists they have funded have gone on to get additional grants from the National Institutes on Aging. And, you may have heard of the blood-based biomarkers that are coming to market now. Bright Focus funded some of that early research. But, your question also reminds me, why we chose brain health in the first place and why we're focused on it for women. We like to say that women's brain health is having a moment right now. If, Maria Shriver and the Women's Alzheimer's Movement, along with Cleveland Clinic, just put out a report that actually reminded women that 2/3 of cases of Alzheimer's disease are happening in women's brains, but most women don't know that. But here's the kicker. 90% of the time when women have the knowledge about what they can do to care for their brains, they take action. So think about that. There's this huge gap of women who don't really know that what's good for their heart is good for their brain. But if we spent the time educating women to tell them that, it would make a real difference. And so when Holly, Sandra, and I created Moorlow, we did not want purpose to be an afterthought. We did not want to celebrate Brain Awareness and Alzheimer's Month just in June. We wanted it to be part of every experience. So you said we could bring props, so we brought you some.
Please.
So we put these brain health tips. They're 14 lifestyle factors that you can control in order to reduce Alzheimer's disease by 45%. So every single customer receives a brain health tip from customer number one. And if they end up purchasing 10 times, they'll get 10 tips. And we try to make them fun and easy and whimsical because, raise your hand if you really want to talk about Alzheimer's. It's not that easy. No. So we say things like keep your noggin nimble or snack smart, dream big, rest easy, hit the court with friends. Everyone has a science-backed tip. And then we have a link back to our charity partners in the cards as well, so that people can go on for more resources. So as Holly said, it's woven into every stitch of our fabric, but every connection point we have with our community. Even when we're out in the community doing pop-ups, we have a brain boost and we talk about brain health so that the women, hopefully get inspired by our clothes, and that's what intrigues them to start. But hopefully they stay with us and in our community because of the bigger mission.
I love that mission. I'm just obsessed with the combination of this because being a tennis player and brain health. I love what you guys are doing. Sandra, tell us a little bit more. Well, we've talked about a little bit about your signature fabric. Tell us a little bit more about the fashion that's happening there.
So when we started designing this collection, we obviously were looking at different combinations, tops, bottoms, dresses. We actually all named a piece based on what we love to wear. We have the Holly dress, which Holly is wearing, the Brooksy, which is her childhood name, which is our pullover, and then the Sandra skirt, which I am wearing. Hard to see, but we have pockets.
Yes, shorts. Nice.
So we each named a piece after ourselves. But, when we were going through the product development phase, we focused on a lot of things that would make any woman's life easier. Obviously, the fabric being super rich and yummy. It's so soft. It's brushed. And, that's the number one compliment we actually get on our product is how soft the fabric is. We never wanted to skimp on fabric quality because at the end of the day, even when we were working with some people in the industry who have worked with the top athleisure brands, Nike, everything, they all said the number one thing is fabric quality. Number two is fit. So we really felt that we needed to make the mark on both of those things. So it's an elevated fabric. It's higher end. It's a higher end product, but we also feel that, our customer is someone who wants to buy something that's different. Buy something that's new, that's high quality. Also knowing that they're giving back to brain health research and education. So knowing that that's our customer, we really wanted to make sure that we were servicing, the woman who really does care about a high quality product. She doesn't want to buy 4 skirts for $20 a piece and keep throwing them out by. We want the woman that really wants to invest in her brain health, in her fashion, and also just make her look cute and at the time. And I can't tell you how many times we've gotten compliments from all ages and all sizes of women saying how confident and beautiful and just cozy they feel and everything. And they've also said, it actually makes me want to get out and move because I'm like, this is a great fabric. It's so soft. It's breathable. And it's making me want to get out and move. It makes me want to get out and take a walk and call a girlfriend for a walk and some coffee. And so we really do feel that the designs themselves have created this environment that our customer wants to get out and do better for her brain health, not even realizing that's what she's doing.
And will you have different lines, like the fall line, the winter line? Is that
Yes. So we have our core collection that we launched with last May, May of 25. And then we launched a fall winter, which was our, we introduced 2 new leggings, and then our fleece, which was so popular.
Yes,
I have it up here, but it
please,
yes, it's
I'll wear
striped
it.
It was a
Super
top seller. It will be back.
Good,
Yes,
yay.
it is not currently available, but it will be
Wonderful.
back. And
That's
then
great.
we released our spring collection, where we launched a new colorway. So we have Granita, which is our pink, which you can kind of see up there.
Oh, yes.
Color. And then we launched a new pattern as well, which was our momentum pattern. And it's got our M moving. And again, it all ties into our mission. We still keep everything rounded, the bounce of a ball, that of a brainwave. So we continue to keep our messaging in our product, because we know that's top of mind for our customer.
I commend you for that. It's wonderful. Holly, pickleball has exploded. And I mean, there's pickleball everything, napkins, you name it. From your perspective, how does it make it such a powerful activity, physically as well as cognitively? What is it about pickleball that you see makes it so powerful?
Well, you're right. Pickleball is an industry for sure. Now it's crazy how big it is. Still the fastest growing sport out there. But I think physically, one of the things that's so great about pickleball is that there's a small learning curve in terms of just getting out there and being able to play, right? You don't have to be this amazing athlete to get on the pickleball court and find success relatively early, right? And so that's fun because people can get out there, they can be active, and they can actually play. I mean, you can take your first lesson and play a game. And the other thing that's so great about pickleball physically is that you can play it at any level, but a higher level player can actually play with a lower level player and still have a great time. And everyone's enjoying it. That's why it's so great for families, young, old, intergenerational. Everybody can get out there and do it together. You know, there's a lot, you know, and when you have parents and you have older kids and they're dating someone, what do you do when you meet the girlfriend? Guess what? You guys can all go out there and play pickleball. And it's not intimidating. I mean, it's a wiffle ball, for God's sake. You know what I mean? Like it's pretty easy for you to do it. So it makes people connect. It's fun to do together, and everyone feels relatively successful. You know, like I said, you know this as a tennis player. A high-end tennis player cannot play with a low-level tennis player and have any fun, right? You have to have somewhat similar abilities in order to really rally, right? That's actually not the case with pickleball. Yet at the same time, there could be obviously there's professional pickleball players out there. So there can be a very high level of play. In terms of cognitively, anytime you learn something new, it's good for your brain, right? So if you're learning the scoring alone, that's the big joke about pickleball.
Oh my God, in the kitchen and blah, blah.
Right? Like, I mean, so that's keeping you going. But at the end of the day, pickleball is a racket sport, and science has proven that racket sports are good for your brain, right? And how it works. And so that's why cognitively it's so good, because it's just another racket sport, and all the things that other racket sports provide, pickleball provides as well.
Wonderful. And also, besides cognitively, physically, Brooks, the sense of community and connection. What do you see that is a positive thing for our cognitive health and what these sports are doing?
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, it used to be that people would think about their mental health, right? And mental health is certainly important, but it actually, social connection and reducing isolation, the science is telling us, just like moving, just like getting good sleep, just like getting your hearing checked, is actually good for your brain health and preventing cognitive decline. And we saw this in COVID when people were isolated, the rates of cognitive decline went up substantially. And I can say, you know, when you're out there playing pickleball, and the girls haven't revealed this, but I'm the newbie in the sport. And so, but I could go out with them and play, and they're awesome at racket sports across the board. And we would just laugh and play and move. And I was learning something new, but I knew it was good for my brain. And I just think that pickleball, there's so much socializing that goes along with it while you're there. And it's a pretty significant amount of time. Well, depending on how good or not good you are.
Come on, you got those words.
It's just great to be out there and to laugh and to be out, you know, if you can play outside, that's even better. And the good news is playing happy, you know, the science shows is great for your brain. And I really do want to differentiate, not just your mental health, it's good for your cognitive health as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, very social sports. Racket sports, I think, are very, very social sports. Sandra, so you've talked about how the psychological connection of, you know, when we wear something, it gives us confidence, it boosts our mood. When you're designing your pieces, is all this mindset going into play when you're designing?
Oh, absolutely. So, you know, one of the immediate things when we were sitting in Holly's backyard and having a glass of wine was, you know, I and all of us as women, you know, playing racket sports, whatever it is. Okay, if you're gross and sweaty and someone says, "Wow, you look so cute," that's gonna immediately make your day. You're like, I am disgusting and sweaty, and someone just said, I look so cute. And
That's great.
right. And so I'm like, if someone thinks I'm cute after playing, you know, an hour and a half of tennis, and they're like, wow, you look so cute, the rest of your day is, you know, kind of elevated. You're walking around and saying, okay, like I can go to the grocery store. I don't have to go and change because I've already been validated that I look good. And I do think there's a psychological, you know, aspect of that to where you show up better in your day if you feel good. And you know, it helps to have people acknowledge that, you know, especially as women, like we love a little extra acknowledgement. And I do believe that it changes your mood. It actually helps drive that play happy lifestyle that we're creating because you're going through your day happy. You're choosing joy. And someone telling you you look cute builds your confidence. It's only going to make you play happier.
I love that. Have you had a personal customer story or testimonial expressing these feelings?
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
Yes.
we could go on and on, but you know, we get all get selfies from our customers saying, you know, they'll send us a selfie and say, just walked off the court and I had all four of the people that, you know, I was playing with, or all three people I was playing with say, wow, you're the cutest one on the court. And they're like, thank you, Moorlow. So most of our customers all will send us immediate messages and usually selfies saying like, thank you. I feel super cute today. And, you know, I'm going to go about my day now.
I love how this is also, I mean, it's building community. You're creating a community with all of this. Right? It's a whole, it's more than just the brand. There's a lot going on here, as I can understand.
Well, and especially because we're a newer brand, we're new and we're mission driven. And so, you know, we're not this large conglomerate. We're three women. We're three women who support each other. We're three moms. We're all moms from different walks of ages. I mean, Brooks has kids in college. Holly has a teenage boy. I have a 7 and 3-year-old. You know, so we understand the crazy life of the working mom that also needs to take care of herself.
I love that. And I love how it's women owned. And Holly, so being an entrepreneur, all of you, entrepreneurship, wow, requires creativity, patience, sacrifice, no sleep, worry. There's a lot that goes into it. What things have you experienced? What challenges that have challenged you, but strengthened you as well in your thinking and in this process?
So how long is this podcast?
Steve, can you add an hour?
No. So this is a great question for me, I think, in particular, because I, you know, worked for the man for over 3 decades, right? So I worked for a big corporation. And so I know what it's like to go to work every day and have to be accountable to someone else and not get to make the big decisions, right? So starting something from scratch is another whole way to do it. And it has been so, it's been all the things you said, but I think above everything, I would say this has been overwhelmingly rewarding. Um,
Wow.
I have my education, I'm actually is I have an engineering degree. I'll pause for
Wow.
like surprise. Yeah, see? So, but so I was an educated, a civil and environmental engineer, and then I spent 3 decades being a news anchor and
And
journalist. Um,
wow.
but
What a story.
but what I love about being an entrepreneur is that it actually takes me back to my engineering roots because engineers solve problems.
Yes.
And every single day when you're an entrepreneur, you're just presented with a series of problems and challenges. And being able to figure them out and overcome them and come up with answers, maybe not the answer you thought, but then takes you in a different direction, is just incredibly rewarding to me. I love the challenge. I love the process, but I also love the outcome. And sometimes the outcome's not always great, right? But
Mhm.
sometimes that setback sets you in the right direction. And I think
Oh.
the mindset of an entrepreneur and why I think and believe in Moorlow so much
Yeah.
is because all three of us have the same mindset. We're alike in a lot of ways, but we're also decidedly different in a lot of ways. But we all have the same mindset, which is everything is figure outable. We're
Love
doing
it.
this and we can't help but be successful. And so
Wow.
when you go into every day with that mindset,
Yeah.
it's impossible to be overwhelmed. You can be overwhelmed in a moment, but we're not overwhelmed at the big picture
Yeah.
because we're designing for the big picture and we're meant for the big picture. And we feel like the world needs the big picture. And so to be able
Yes.
to make your own mark, I had a wonderful career and it was wonderful and it provided me a lot of amazing things. But but to be able to make our mark in our
Yeah.
own way, in this way, is more rewarding than I could have ever imagined.
You know, that's very powerful. And it's interesting that sometimes later in life is when these moments start to really happen, you know. Um, so, well, I'm excited that you keep going. You're not going to stop because there's a little bump on the road. I mean, you have an objective at the end. So that's what's so strong about this. And Brooks, you describe Moorlow as a movement. What plans do you have in the future? Speaking of keeping going, what are some of the plans that the company has?
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, we are definitely just getting started, but as Holly and Sandra both said, you know, we have so much intention for our mission and
Yes.
we make decisions really thoughtfully, always thinking back to what our ultimate mission is. For us, we always wanted to build a company that could use fashion as a force for good. As I said, our cause and our philanthropy is not an afterthought, and our particular focus on brain health is very purposeful because we know the impact of cognitive decline on women in particular. And we know those conversations are not happening, right? The data is
No.
out there. There's only a
Yes.
small segment. So we, of
Absolutely.
course, want to be a recognizable brand on and off the court. We want to be a lifestyle brand that women think about when they think about joy, movement, and purpose. Of course, we want to sell as many, you know, beautiful clothes that make women feel as confident and as joyful as we can. We want to build partnerships to extend our reach. And ultimately, if we are part of the movement, significant part of the movement that is allowing brain health to be part of the day-to-day conversations, so women ultimately take the steps they need to take to care for their brains. We know that if those conversations are happening, women are going to go to their doctor sooner. We know they may raise the question with their doctor. We may see rates in early detection changing. You know, all of that matters. I mean, not to get too like
No.
in the weeds of the science, but we're not out here just, you know, for the fun of it. We're out here for the purpose of it. And we know if more women buy Moorlow, be educated by our work, connect with our community, feel like they are empowered to care for their brains, and we're able to fund more research to allow the experts to keep learning, then we've really done a lot to change the world. And I think that's something that drives each and every one of us every single day.
Absolutely. And I love how you're cueing in on the female piece, because we are at higher risk than males. And not many people know that. And I agree with you, to get the word out. Do any of you have a connection with someone with Alzheimer's that has kind of hit this button a little bit more?
I do. I actually started working at an Alzheimer's advocacy organization. And 3 weeks into that, my mother-in-law was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease, and my husband and myself and our family, cared for her and organized her care. And I was one of the fortunate ones. I was inside an Alzheimer's organization with people who could help me along the journey. Because as they often say, if you've known one person with Alzheimer's, you've known one person, because everybody's experience is a bit different depending on whether it affects your cognition more than your function, and all of those things, and the speed of the decline. So, and after that, I've just, in my work, have come across a lot of people, and that definitely has motivated.
It does cause more passion to move forward. Yes.
My brother-in-law.
Did you want to say something?
Yeah, my brother-in-law, his entire family suffered from Alzheimer's. His dad, both of his parents, he had 5 siblings. They all passed from Alzheimer's. My brother-in-law has already been checked and has the early indications of Alzheimer's. So, and just to give perspective, so my sister and my brother-in-law started dating when I was 10. I'm a little bit older than 10, just so you know. So all of that.
You're like 10 and a half.
Thanks. All of that to say, he's been a part of my life my whole life, right? So he's like my brother. But so I was not in a space like Brooks to have access to resources. So we just experienced that as regular people do, right? And but watching what we did and learning, obviously now we're in it in terms of how do we stave it off for my brother-in-law. And then I have a nephew and a niece who probably have the gene, right? So we're really focusing in on that preventive care and what it can mean, and the difference that it can be the difference that can be made, I should say, but also not being so afraid of it, right? So there's a lot of, it's really interesting because sometimes when we do pop-ups, and someone will offer up like, oh, my mother has early, the early stages of Alzheimer's, but it's just the early stages. So we don't need to do anything yet. And Brooks always pops in and is like, no. This is exactly when you need to do it. Right. And so really honing in on what you can do now to prevent, as opposed to being reactive later, where then you're just kind of managing it. And we all know it doesn't usually really end very well, is really important.
And I think, the organizations that you follow, I don't know if it was Charity for Charity or the other one, where they even have a puppet and it kind of shares a story, right? Is that for Charity for Charity or your other one?
It's Hilarity for Charity. Yeah. Seth Rogen. Seth Rogen, like, he uses a puppet and celebrities because their research said that young people respond better to that. I mean,
but it's starting young, like you said, getting that information to our younger population. Sandra, did you want to? No, I thought you wanted to chime in. Okay. So Sandra, well, talking a little fashion, how does it feel that Katie Couric chose one of your outfits as her pickaball pick? I saw that on her site. It's reaching out to a lot of people. I mean, how did that feel?
It felt amazing. We love that Katie supports our mission. We have, been fortunate enough that she's been on our team. We got to Zoom with her. She, just reinforced how much she loves what we're doing, and she loves the product itself. So much so that she recently is working with Walker and Wade on a collection and chose to pair it with her Moorlow score. And we can't pinpoint a more perfect person to to be behind
Yes.
us, because Katie is all the things. She's play happy. She cares about her health. She cares about other people's health, but she's also just joyful. And so she really embodies the Moorlow woman. And we're just so happy that she's in our corner. And, she even posted for her birthday while she's on the pickleball courts in her Moorlow dress. And so we're very excited that she's on our team.
Congratulations on that. Really.
And I will just say it's important to note, because we live in a world where you have to pay a lot of money for influencers and you have to pay a lot to get famous people to wear your stuff. And I really just think this is a testament to the person that Katie Couric is that she really does just love our mission and loves the clothes. And I mean, she could have worn anything to play pickleball on her birthday, and she wore Moorlow. And you know what? She didn't get anything out of it other than that day she looked super cute, and I'm sure people told her she was amazing, and you know what I mean, all those things. But I mean, it's like it's just like, it seems like there's no free lunch these days, and so to have something organic like that happen, especially for a small startup, is again, I'll use the word rewarding, right? Like we must be doing something right. We must be doing something right.
Yep. No, I can't stress enough how excited I am for you, and really I commend you, because what the mission that you're working on, I just think it's fabulous. So bravo.
So you're saying we're Coco Loco in a good way?
Totally, 100%. You're stirring your cocoa the right way.
Yes, good.
Well, I'm going to stir your cocoa, although this question won't really stir your cocoa, I don't think, too much. But to wrap it up, I'm going to ask you, each of you, the same question. What is one small habit each of you would do every week? One small habit you could do every week to build a healthier brain, but also to be more joyful or to be more happy. What's one small thing a week? So I'll start, Brooks, I'm going to start with you. So what would you do? One small habit.
Well, it's one small habit that I've been trying really, really hard to do, and that is taking a walk every day, and getting myself outside and, increasing my heart rate. And even if I can only do 10 minutes versus my preferred 60, my goal is to do it every day.
Wow. Bravo.
Yeah.
All right, Sandra, what's one small habit?
My one small habit is doing some version of exercise every day, even if it's only for 20 minutes. I believe in so if I don't have a lot of time, and I just get on my living room floor and I'll do an ab workout for 20 minutes, or I'll do push-ups, or, that's something that works for me. If I can get out to the tennis court, that's great. If I can get in a walk, but I would like to do, I try to do 20 minutes of some sort of movement with my body every day.
Love that. And Holly, what do you do? One small habit a week.
So this is a game changer for me. I prioritize sleep, because for 30 years I was a morning news anchor, and I got up in the middle of the night and went to work, and I slept very little, maybe 5 hours a night if I was lucky. And at the time I was always like, oh, that's just part of the job. I didn't focus on it. And I was actually really good at working tired. It didn't bother me.
Wow.
But now I don't do that. I make sure that I get good sleep, because I realize, one, how much more present I am in my life. So that immediately adds to my joy level, because I can actually enjoy everything that's going on without a dull sleep headache. But there is no joy on this earth like not waking up to an alarm clock. When you wake up to an alarm clock in the middle of the night for 30 years and you can't be late because you have to be on the air at a certain time.
You have to be full makeup.
And you have to be, to be able to just wake up when your body says, hey, let's start the day. I'm telling you, that is happiness I had not experienced for a long time. And I actually know now I'm building good brain connections and pathways in my head, and my brain's restoring itself and recharging. I mean, I can't imagine how smart I'm going to be after all this sleep. I mean, it's amazing. But
you're going to have your own pattern on your clothing.
Exactly.
Absolutely, 100% sleep. I'm right there with you. It's the research is out there, right? We know that. Well, thank you so much for being on the show and taking the time. I really am honored that you came on, and I can't wait to just to spread the word, because there is a lot to share here with everyone. And well, thank you so much for coming on the show. Our
Thank
time's
you for
up,
choosing
but,
us.
Yeah.
Thank you so
do you want
much.
a Spanish
Thank
word?
you.
Well, we need a Spanish word. Let's do happiness. Felicidad. Can we try that?
Felicidad.
Felicidad.
Yes, felicidad.
God.
Yes, I mean, that's joy, right? We need that in
Yeah.
our lives.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the show, and adios.
Adios.
Adios.